how are you? Now we have got another brand new supplier here at Hochanda. It's the Swift Quilting Company, of course, and we have got Emma with us. Hello, Emma. Hello. Now we are very excited to have you and of course the company. You design patterns, right, and work and make beautiful projects.
Yes, that's correct. So I have a fabric shop and a long arm quilting service, and I also design projects and quilt patterns and things like that.
And I have to say that as soon as I saw this project that is behind me, I fell in love. Now you will be able at home to create something very, very similar, because you have got the instructions in here as well as this amazing panel. I mean, it is absolutely a stunning fabric. I'm just going to open it up because I have never seen something like this. It's so beautiful. It's this panel printed with that gold in, you know, can you see it there? And it's such a beautiful gold and so detailed. And how elegant those colors, the gray and the beautiful tones, the you know, the browns, but calling them browns, it's not, you know, gold. It's just that gorgeous sort of tones. But this is the project you would be able to make once that you have got the pattern and the instructions. Now, when I was in the other side of the studio and I was seeing that window, it was like suddenly having a window in the studio. And this is what you will be able to create with these beautiful gold tones. I also just think it's such a simple but yet so elegant and stunning idea, and it's all possible because the bundle will give you the instructions as well as that gorgeous gold and grey panel. The snow falling on, or maybe it's flowers, maybe it's sakura blossoms, because a lot of these fabrics have been, they are from Japan, so you can see it. I believe this one is also from Japan, is it? No, is it? Oh, American. American.
Yeah.
Well, we'll double check. But it is that sort of, because we have got some Japanese fabrics which I adore. But anyway, we have got this. If you want to go for the gold attic window bundle, of course, includes the instructions and the gorgeous panel. £26.99 is your price plus PMP. 385250 is your item number. Then we have got here the Courthouse Steps. I mistakenly called something else, and but it is so beautiful because you can create quilting as you go in a way, because you have got the printed panels. I'm not opening the complete, so it's double-sided, so you can see that you have got another side to it. But you can see in here it has been printed, labeled in you have got the instructions as well in there, and then you have got, of course, the fabric to create those panels. Look at that gorgeous fabric in here, and look at, again, stars printed into gold to having that beautiful shimmer in there. Finished project, you say, how it does it look? Well, here it is. And I believe this is going to be the first demo by Emma, and you can look at that. Isn't that amazing? So we get everything that we need to create this front. Look at that. It just looks like the starry night. I can see in here is kind of something, I don't know, it's just magical. It's kind of almost like a labyrinth as well, that you can go in here. And I love the colorways as well. And I love the tiny print. It's so delicate, so elegant. And of course, you are getting here in the panel and the 2.25 meter fabric. That's easier to say, isn't it? And I love the size of it as well, because you have it now as a one piece, but should you wish to do little panels, could you do that?
Oh yes, so you can do individual blocks for sure, or you can buy a couple of them and make a bigger quilt if you'd like as well.
Yeah, so basically Emma was saying that you can use it as a full quilt, or you can use the different elements as well on their own if you wanted to do that. Your item number 482642, and of course £34.99 is your price, of course brand new today because it is a new supplier here at Hochanda. But Emma's not new to the quilting. She has got years of experience, years of knowledge, and you can share some of that by going for one of her items. Love, love, love these gorgeous, these beautiful, beautiful fabrics. Now these ones are the ones made in Japan. Yes, they are. Now here we have got the Handpiece cushion bundle, and includes 5 eighths and of course a half a meter of fabric. This is amazingly beautiful. I saw that it says American hand piecing. How is different that, Emma?
So there's a technique called English paper piecing,
Yes.
which is the traditional one that most people use for hand piecing patchwork. This method is completely different to that. It's the way that I have always done. It's a way that I first learned how to do patchwork, and I find it's a lot easier and quicker than English paper piecing. But it's an alternative to English paper piecing, so either way is fine, but this is just a different way of doing the hand piecing, which some people might really like.
Yeah, so it is one of those ones, because English paper piecing, I love the results, but I have never even, I don't even attempt to do it, because I don't have the time or the patience for that. So the fact that this will achieve very similar results, but much quicker.
Much quicker, yes.
That sounds very attractive to me. Right, so do we have 4 options in here? So I'm going to show you the first option that you can see there. Look at that. So and this one will be the Kaori?
No, so the
sorry.
Mitsuko.
Matsuko.
Yes.
Matsuko. That will be the Matsuko in here. So you're getting the green, the navy in there, and of course Japanese fabric with a traditional printing as well. They're absolutely stunning. Then we have got this one.
I believe it's the Hiroshi.
Hiroshi? Hiroshi? Oh, I love those names as well. I mean, it's just, look at that. Oh, I love, now I of course immediately think of kimonos and things, but Japanese have got that geometric style with the beautiful dragonflies in there as well. So you are getting, this is the half meter, I would imagine.
Yes.
And then of course, then you have got the, is that the?
That's the Sakiko.
Sakiko. Sakiko with, of course, the half meter of the dragonflies in that beautiful, I would say this is like kind of a mauve or something like that. It has got more like a little tones of lavender, well, not lavender, but. And then you have got the final one, which is
The Kaori.
Kaori. That's Kaori. Oh, I love the names as well. That one with, can I show you this one? Because you are getting, of course, the 5 eighths, and you are getting, of course, the half meter as well. So you are getting 5 eighths and 1/2 a half meter there. Look at how gorgeous they are. They are very elegant, and they are also, I love that they are perfect for genderless projects. So whichever way you want to go for, like a kind of a more masculine or a little bit more feminine, you can do this. Right, if you wanted to go for this bundle, you remember it's a choice of, your item number is 205541. £27.99 is your price. And shall we head to demo to see the first demo? Let's do that.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, hello Emma.
Hi. Yes, so I thought I would start with the hand piecing actually. So now that we're talking about it. So I've got one of the other examples here.
Yes.
So this one is the Sakiko.
Okay.
Weather vane. This is called a weather vane pattern, this block. This block was the first one when I very first started 24 years ago. That was the first block that I did as well. So it's one that I tend to go back to. But for American hand piecing, the first thing you do, well, you've got the instructions.
Yes, we
there.
do. Yeah.
In the instructions, you've got a set of American hand piecing instructions, which talk you through all of the steps of American hand piecing. And in those instructions, it shows you how to start off with a sawtooth star block. And then there's some addition of either the weather vane or the hexagon.
Yeah, so here we have got the hexagons, and the details for the hexagon are on the screen, and 927562, £11.99.
Yep. 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 So the first step with your American hand piecing is marking out your fabric. So in the instructions, like I said, there are template shapes, which you will either need to use template plastic or transfer them onto card. Cereal box card works quite well.
Oh, okay.
And then you'll end up with a shape. I've actually cheated because I do have some ready-made acrylic templates. Okay. So this is one of them.
Yeah.
And what you do is you mark it just using a pencil.
Yes. Onto
your fabric. And what you're going to be marking is actually your sew line. Okay. So you're not going to be adding any other 1/4 inches or anything like that.
Right. Yep.
You're going to be directly on that sew line. So don't know if you can see what I've already marked. If you can see that?
Yes, I can see that.
Good.
Yeah,
you'll see that I've left, in between each shape, I've left at least a ½ inch.
yes.
That's going to be your seam allowance.
Okay.
So when you're spacing it out, make sure you've got at least a ½ inch in between your shapes.
Does it need to be precise, or it doesn't? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It helps. And that's what I'm using. So this mat that I've got at the moment, you can just use a sheet of sandpaper or emery board, but this multi-mat that I've got, it actually has...
It's brilliant, isn't it?
I love these, yes. So it's a pressing board on the outside, it's actually padded.
Yeah.
You've got a nice little handy cutting mat.
Yeah.
A little moleskin divider to keep all your fabric in place if you want to put your pieces in it. But also this sheet of sandpaper.
Yeah. And we had them here on the show, and I own one of them, and they're really good.
I love it.
You can find them on the website if you want to.
Well, I originally bought it for a retreat thinking, oh, that would be really handy for pressing and cutting. And then I opened it up and I found there was sandpaper, and I was so excited because it doesn't say on the outside. Anyway.
Okay.
So the reason I'm using sandpaper is it does two things. So when you're marking your fabric, the sandpaper will help to grip it.
Ah, of course, yes.
So that will help get your corners nice and accurate, and it won't distort your fabric, because if you do it on just a regular table, when you're marking it on your fabric, the fabric can shift a little bit.
Yeah.
And then if you just use a pencil.
Any pencil.
Any pencil. Okay. So I tend to use just a regular pencil, but with some very dark fabrics, or if you're using black, you may need to use either a silver one or a yellow one or a white one, something that will show on the dark, basically. And I'm just going around the edge.
And then just line it up. Okay.
Yeah. And I've nested my shapes, so there's as little waste as possible, which is the other thing I really like about this method, is that you can get a lot of pieces out of a small piece of fabric.
Indeed, yeah. So remember, there is a ½ inch of seam allowance that you are doing between both lines. Yeah. And you do it by eye, though.
I just do it by eye. I think more is better than less.
Okay. Oh, no, that's a good point.
Err on the side of caution. So if you're not entirely sure, leave a little bit of a bigger gap, because you're going to trim it down to a ½ inch anyway.
Is there a coin? I was thinking that is a 1 inch in diameter, because you could use a coin around it.
Well, I do have, I don't have it here, but I also have on my shop a really handy 8-inch by ½ inch ruler.
Ah, that's a good,
which would be a good one. And I use that for so many things. It's really handy.
Right.
So I've got that done. I can put that aside for now. So what I would recommend is marking all your fabric and then cutting them all out for the first time. My scissors. And then recreating your block.
Do you prefer scissors, or rotary cutter would work as well?
I use scissors for this.
Okay.
For hand piecing, I always use scissors.
No, that's it's lovely to know the different ways to cut the fabric.
And it makes a really nice portable project. So I've been known to do these on airplanes, in airports, in cars, on trains. I usually have a hand piecing project on the go all the time that I can just pick up and take with me.
So you take the pieces already cut, I would imagine, on an airplane?
Yes. Yes.
Or you sneak them in?
No, I cut them up for that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. Okay, so while you're cutting, can we go through we're gonna have a look at the instructions here. So we have got, of course, the Hexagon American handpiece cushion instructions and templates. So £11.99. Now you have got here, as you can see, the templates and the instructions as well. Now £11.99, and then you have got the other one, which is the, you can see that, well, Weather Vane, that's perfect. Weather Vane block, and of course we have got the American hand piecing as well instructions in here, and you have got more details as well inside. Oh, look, isn't that stunning? And remember that once that you have got instructions, you can do it time and time again with whatever fabric is of your choice. 604568 is your item number for, of course, the weather vane. £11.99 is your price. So yeah, so the fabrics. So shall we have the look at the fabrics? Well, Emma is cutting them. Right. So. Right, so the fabrics that we have got, of course, we have got 4 different options. And then, okay, that's all right. It's, you know, things that happen. Now we have got 4 different options of the beautiful Japanese fabric, and I see if I can remember the names. I can't remember. Hiroshi, this is Hiroshi, I believe. So that's the red, blue and navy. You can see them there. Beautiful Japanese print with a tiny multi-directional one in there, so you can use them in different ways. You are getting 1/2 meter of the navy, and of course you are getting 4 fat quarters of, no, 5, sorry, 8. Oh, let's get that. 5 8. So you're getting 5 8. And then 1/2 meter, right? Let's fix it and edit. That cannot go in. And then you have got, of course, the other option in here, which is the red one in there. Then we have got again a 5 of the. That's the Mitsuko, and then we have got the, of course, the 5 fat 8. Oh, it's harder to say than it sounds like. 5 5 5 6 5 5. And then you have got here, and this is the Sakiko. And then finally we have got the Kaori. That's the one I can't pronounce it. You know, and this one I know. If whichever one you're going, your item number will be 205541, £27.99. And look how gorgeous they looked when you are using. This one is the first one, which was which one was that? Hiroshi. Yeah, that's right. There we have that. So shall we go head back to Emma to see what a next step is?
Yeah. So what I've done is I've cut out all of my pieces and I've just laid them out to recreate the block. This is for 2 reasons. One, it's so that you can get an idea in your head of where the pieces should be. And then 2, to make sure you've got enough of each shape cut out. Okay, that's one thing I have done it before and I'm like, oh, I need to cut some more of that one. And then the third thing is, do you actually like the colours the way they are? Because it's at this point where if you don't like one of the colours, you can change it. Of course. So that's all the 3 things. And then what you do, and this will be in the instructions, so I'm going to divide this out into its smaller components. So I've got a central square, I've got my house units right here. So it's basically a 9 patch. So I've got 9 different units. Yeah. The corner ones are the more complicated. So on these ones, I've actually got 2 half-square triangles and 2 squares. So the bits that you're going to start sewing will be your smallest unit, which will be these triangles. Okay. Yeah. So the way that you start, and this is the other reason I do lay it out, is because it reorientates yourself, so you know which side you need to sew to where. So if I lay that on top of that, I know I need to sew along this line. And what I do, if you can see, I'm going to put a pin directly in the corner of that triangle. And I'm going to align it with the triangle on this side in the corner. Just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to pin it along that line. So making sure that my seam lines are aligned on both sides. And then we want to sew, hand sew with a running stitch all the way along there, making sure that we're getting through each sew line. Okay. Oops.
And you do that by hand or?
By hand, which I'll show you.
Of course, hand piecing.
So one tip for threading your needle. So I've got the piece that came off first in this hand. With this end, I actually thread the needle. Okay. And then I put it through so that I'm actually This is the end that I cut. This
Yeah.
was the end that was already off the end.
Yeah.
So if you do it that way, it prevents your thread from getting really tangled up.
Oh, is that it? Oh,
Yeah.
that's a top tip. That's a
Yeah.
problem. Yeah.
The other way you can do it is if you thread your needle onto the thread first
Yeah.
and then cut the thread length that you want. That's another way of making sure you've
Yeah.
got it going in the right direction.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
So now what I'm going to do to start on this side is exactly the same thing I did with my pin on the other side.
Yeah.
So I'm putting it through the corner,
Yeah.
matching up each corner.
Okay.
Now this is a little bit tricky, and this is the way that I do it, so you don't have to do it exactly this way, but you can figure out your own method. But in generally, what I do is pin it. So I've pinned it, pushed it through the sew line on that side and on that side, about 1/2 an inch from the corner. And I'll hold it in my left hand, between my thumb and finger, just to hold the fabrics in place. And then I pull everything through.
Okay.
So the only thing holding that fabric in place is my thumb and finger.
Okay.
And then I start about 1/2 an inch from that corner and sew into it with a running stitch.
Okay. That kind of left me baffled.
Okay, yeah. So I've got a running stitch going the wrong direction, basically.
Yeah.
I call it a running back stitch because that's what, you don't have to put any knots or anything, you just leave a little tail, about 1/2 an inch tail. And then I'm going to start sewing a running stitch all the way back the other way.
Oh, now I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that just keeps it secure.
All right. Yeah. Perfect.
So what I'll do,
Yeah.
I'll get a needle full of stitches basically, and every time I pull my thread through,
Yeah.
when I start again, I'm going to start with a back stitch all the way across, and that just adds stability to your work because it's basically a running stitch that's holding your pieces together.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That is such a really different. And of course, those instructions are on the instruction.
In the instructions, yes. And I'm a very visual learner, so my instructions tend to be quite visual as well. So I've got lots of pictures in there to help guide what your work should look like at any given point, so it's easy to follow.
So you have got them in your instructions, even that how you need to do that. Because if you are like me as well, I'm visual, and that is, and not only pictures, you have got the diagrams, which I always think it's even better because you have got a specific, and then of course you have got look at that. So you have got the instructions here. So that is the weather vane, and of course American handpiece cushion and instructions. So all those top tapes are included in here in the instructions. £11 and 99 pence. 604568 is your item number. So always have a look at what you are getting. Yeah, just there we have it. There we have it. That is exactly what you are gonna get for £11 and 99 pence. It's all that knowledge from Emma and all those instructions, both visual and written, as well as the of course the diagrams. Right, Emma?
Yeah. So I'm just finishing off, and finishing off my row, basically my seam, with the same running back stitch that I started with.
Yeah.
So that's that.
Okay.
So I'm just trimming off my thread, so I leave a little 1/2 an inch tail. And then, at this point, you just trim your seam allowance to a 1/4 an inch.
Oh, I see.
You just, there we go. Then you finger press it open.
Yeah.
And do the next bit. Now, there is another technique that I need to show, but it'll be easier on the next piece of work that I've got.
Do you need a little bit of time to reset?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, I'll just grab it. So this is with the hexagon.
Okay.
So if I just brush everything aside.
Oh, the other instructions, of course, the hexagon.
Yeah, the hexagon, which is exactly the same technique.
Yep.
But it'll help me to show you what you do when you get to a seam.
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've already got my next hexagon pinned on. So I'm just going to do a quick seam.
Ah, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, you just sew that seam exactly the same way. So I'm just going to do a little back stitch and then go towards that join where I've got seams that cross over.
Yeah.
And with a hexagon, it's so versatile. So the hexagon pattern that you held up,
Yeah.
my mum actually made that for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was running out of time for making samples, so she kindly, my mum made that for me.
Oh, that's
Because I actually
so
taught mum
beautiful.
how to quilt as well.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, so that's mum's design.
Oh.
But there's so much you can do with a hexagon. So the one that I've done here is the bullseye design, but you can do flowers, you can do lines, you can make stripes, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So I'm just doing a running stitch all the way to this corner.
Yeah. And then running stitch, going through it.
Yeah.
And that's really like the point you were making, how, you know, like you can take it on a train, you can do it in the car. I mean, not that we are doing much of that, but you can do it maybe sitting in front of the TV with the whole family, and then you have got something to do
That's
as
what
well.
I do.
Yeah.
Or if you have to go to any appointments or doctor's appointments or anything like that, you have to sit and wait for people, or it's always handy to have.
Yeah.
So if I show you, I now got a point right here where I've got some seams that match up, that come together. And when you normally do your blocks, you will come at a point where you will have to go through those seams. So what I do to add integrity to the whole piece is I stitch, it's almost like stitching a circle around all of them.
Oh.
So I'm on this side, so I'm going to put my needle straight through to the other side, matching up the corner.
Okay.
Just like that. And then I'm going to sew it straight through to this side.
Yeah.
And then back. This is only, you only get 3 seams on a hexagon, which is handy, but usually you'd have 4, or actually sometimes you get more on a regular block. And then I'm stitching back. So you're kind of stitching in place, but all through all the layers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Back to where I started, and then I can just continue sewing that.
Yeah. All right. Oh, that's. And I love how, because our English paper piecing requires a piece of paper, then gluing together, then, you know, which are, some people love it, but some people like myself are put off by how long it takes. And this is just saves all that faff with the paper, doesn't it?
Exactly. That's exactly my wording as well. I don't like faff.
That's good. I got it right.
I like the Gino de Campo theory for quilting. It's less work, more enjoyment.
Oh,
basically.
definitely. Well, for life, I like that for life, you know. But definitely for quilting, you want, you know, of course, everybody is different. Everybody will find enjoyment in certain areas. Like I know some people enjoy cutting fabric, some people don't like doing the cutting. But the hand paper piecing can be very daunting because of all those elements of the time consuming, the papers, then you glue in the sides, then you stitch it. But this is so much quicker.
It is quite quick. Yeah, so I think that piece that I think I gave it to Mum Monday? Sunday or Monday?
Really? Can I show the back as well?
Yeah, oh yes. Because, oh yes, that is actually a good point. Because for American hand piecing, the back of your work actually looks a lot more, it's a lot more like regular patchwork.
It is, because I kind of look at it and I was really taken how beautiful it is also. You can look at the detail in there as well.
Yeah.
And of course the half meter is for the sashing around it?
Yes, for the border and the backing. So if I show you on this one, where I've got the half meter in the lilac dragonflies. So I've added a border to the block, and then the back is just an envelope. Which you can make a zipper, so you'd use less fabric because you've got quite a bit of overlap there, so you could save a little bit as well.
Well,
if you did Velcro
the
or a
person
zipper.
at home. I love having different options.
Yes, yes, yes.
Indeed, yeah. And we have, I also see that you have got your pins on your side. We have got the pins as well.
Oh yes, yes, yes. I have a couple of them, yes. Yeah. So those are ones that I designed myself, actually.
They are so sweet. I'm going to grab them because we have got them in the show as well. So let me... They are so pretty as well. And you designed them yourself?
Mm-hmm.
They are so cute. And one of them says, sewing is my superpower.
Yes.
I mean, not mine, but yours. Yeah. And I'm sure at home that would be. I love this quilting block as well. It's stunning.
Yes.
And of course, then you have got here that says handpiece. Pieces united.
Yes.
Yeah, power to the handpiece. Look at that, it's so cute. 12 pounds and 49 pence. Now, oh, and then of course
Yes.
I'm missing the quilt
Club.
That's so cool.
But if you look at the back of the quilt club, it
Yeah.
has all the quilt club rules.
Oh, never ever point your mistakes. Ooh, that's a very bad idea. Now, yeah, look at that. Then we have got something like it says, rule number 2, there is no right or a wrong way. Only the way that works for you. Be kind to yourself. Don't expect perfection. Let's say on your first try. Well, it's too tiny, the handwriting. If you get them home, you will be able to read them better than I can. But look at those. For £12.49, you can have all 4 designed by Emma. I love them. Especially, I love that. So it's my superpower. I mean, how cool is that? And the quilt club. I mean, that is just like so fabulous. Right, can be yours for your item number is 567392. Back to Emma.
Yeah. Hi. Yep. So that's the hand piecing.
Yeah.
The Courthouse Steps. Should we go through that one?
Okay. So let's have a look at which one. Do you want me to show the panel, the golden panel? Let's do that.
The panel. Yes, let's do that.
Yeah, because we'll let Emma get ready and we'll have a look at the gold panels. Oh, the courthouse we have got here, of course. That was the one that comes in with. You have got the printed panel in here, which has got all the panels in here to then quilt as you go. Now it is the courthouse blog in here. You can see that it has got instructions printed on the bottom of here. The finish result how it should be, even the size of it. So it's 9-inch blocks. So the finished piece will be 36 inches by 36 inches because there are 16 of these blocks. Should you wish to use the blocks on their own, kind of let me put them on. It's hard to see them. You can see them. Yeah, I just wanted to show the lines, the numbers. There we go. You can see they are numbered, so you know where to place them in and where to put them. Not the best folder up in the world, but you can see you're getting the fabric that you need to create them, including, of course, the heart of the courthouse steps, and you can see that you will have them once they finish something like this. This one missing, one has gone a step away from the courthouse space, and I think that's the one that Emma has got. Yeah, she's the one that she's going to be using there. Over half of the stock has already gone. If you can be yours as well, 482642 is your item number, £34.99. Right, so we are moving to the gold window. Oh, I love that. Now in this one you are getting, I think this is one, I mean, I'm going to say it, one of the most stunning fabrics I have ever seen. It's just the way that it's printed, you know, that gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous depiction of the outside. Whether it's the snow, whether it's the falling leaves, it's that beautiful gold printing onto those kind of gorgeous golden tones, as well as the grays undertones. I just think it's amazing. And 2/3 of the stock has already gone. Now you get in the template and instructions to create that fabulous window effect. And I'm going to show you exactly what you can achieve with this. To be honest, I would be tempted to go for it just for the fabric, but the fact that you are getting the instructions to create this is stunning. I mean, how stunning is this? Let me put it up out here, because look at that. Look at this. Isn't that just beautiful? And it's just the fact that it gives you that illusion of that windows. The kind of, I just love that effect of that depth by using. Now, of course, you will have to put your own grey and black fabric to create that, but it's the panel that's the one that you want to. Now, the finished size of this panel, because we have, it's 71.5 by 55 inches. So it is a nice big size as well. So imagine if you wanted to create a bigger sashing around the borders, could you do that?
Yeah, so the finished size that you just said is for the quilt behind you?
Yeah.
Yep. So yes, you can add more. So if you had more than one panel, you could make it as wide as you want, because it's a continuous.
So they can, so if you, that's a very good point. So they can buy more than one. It will be one continuous piece.
Yep.
So you can then have more of a bigger scene.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a quilt and then it's a window? It's just like, it's kind of magical worlds as well. Now, 385250 is your item number, £26.99 plus P&P. But here at Hochanda, there is a way to not pay P&P. That's the way to become a Freedom member. To explain us much better than I could ever do it, here is Alex to do how it all works.
Hello everyone, I've got a minute or two to tell you why you should all be members of Hochanda Freedom. Did you know that with Hochanda Freedom you could be saving on your deliveries every month? For just a £6.97 monthly fee, you will benefit from unlimited standard delivery, which means the more you spend with us, the more you save. And you know the best bit? You can cancel any time. Becoming a member of Hochanda Freedom, you will also be able to take advantage of our exclusive Freedom member discounts, where you can save anything up to 20% on an already fantastic Hochanda price. Freedom members will also receive our exclusive members badge and Freedom newsletter, which will keep you updated with all the goings on behind the scenes. Just look at all these benefits for £6.97 per month. Over 10,000 of you are already members, and we thank you so much for being a part of our family and sharing your crafting passion with us. In fact, I'm now going to hand over to you to tell everyone else about your experience with Hochanda Freedom.
It's lovely because you have the special offers, don't you, that give you a nice discount off, sometimes up to 20%.
I don't have to worry about the postage. I can spend a £5 on something that I've seen as and when I've seen it, or I can spend 20 or 30 or 50 pounds, it doesn't matter.
I get special offers, I get special discounts, they tell me when everything's happening, so if there's a special show I want to watch, then it's there.
Yes, you do save. If you buy like I do, you save.
You see? You could be a member instantly for £6.97 per month with no ongoing monthly obligation. So when you want to cancel, you can. Just give us a call or go to our website quoting the item number 88888. So don't forget, you get your unlimited standard delivery, exclusive Freedom discounts, members badge and a members newsletter. What are you waiting for? Join Hochanda Freedom today and become a member of the growing Hochanda family.
And then, of course, that works amazingly if you multi-buy different items. Now, we have got some news which are not so great for, well, basically, it's been such a technical sellout. So it means that if you have got the window bundle in your baskets, check out your baskets right now and it still will be yours. If you do not, it will bounce back and somebody else will take it because it's been so popular, it has now technically sold out. And I'm afraid it is the same case with the Courthouse Steps. That has also now technically sold out, which means that if you are one of the lucky ones that you still have got it in your baskets, do check out your baskets right now to make sure that you get yours. Right. Now we are going to bring out the details for the fabrics because these ones are still available. So if you want to go for these amazing fat 8s, 5 fat 8s and a 1/2 meter of them, you have got still the details for that. Now, of course, Emma, for those ones who you know, have got the Courthouse Steps, she had a plan on that demo. So we are going to show, let her continue that demo. However, the details on the screen are going to be for the fabric. Should you be inspired to get the fabric and replicate that beautiful technique at home with the new fabric. So with that, Emma, shall you show us how it works?
Definitely. So when you get your panel, like you said, you've got all the instructions at the bottom, and then you've got 16 pre-printed fabric panels.
Yep.
So this is basically, if you've ever heard of it, a foundation paper piecing technique, but with fabric, which I find a lot easier. So what you do is you actually work in reverse. So you've got your printed panel on this side.
Okay, yes.
And then you add your fabrics to this side.
All right.
Face right side up.
Okay.
Basically. So the first step is the middle square.
Okay.
So one thing the instructions do say is to cut all your strips, your fabric in strips, which are 2 inches.
Yeah.
I actually found 1 3/4 was perfect, because you don't have to trim quite so much,
Right.
and it gives you plenty to cover the piece that you need to cover.
Yeah.
So I've got my center square, which is 1.5 by 1.5, and then you center that on your middle square. And you kind of, if you've got a light box, put it on the light box.
That's what I was thinking.
Hold it up to the light so that you can see that your fabric is covering at least 1/4 inch over
We do
those
have got
lines.
light panels on the
Okay.
website, so head to the website for that.
Yeah, perfect. So the next step is I need to cut a piece, which I'm going to, so they're all numbered is the other thing.
And they come with instructions printed on the fabric as well, don't they?
It is.
So you can refer to that.
But I think it's always good to see it actually being done.
Yeah.
So I just need a piece that's going to cover my number 2 squares.
Okay. And then,
There we go. So I can just line that up. Again, make sure that it's going to cover where it needs to.
yeah.
Just pin that in place.
Okay. All right. And then,
Then,
do you have any recommendation for the stitch length?
Because it's a fabric foundation, you can just use your regular 2.5 stitch length. If you're doing paper piecing, obviously you need to shorten that, so it makes it easier to rip the paper out. But because your fabric is actually going to stay in place, you don't have to worry about that.
Fine.
But I do recommend only stitching on the line.
Okay.
So that means,
yes.
if your machine has the capability, do a lock stitch to start and stop.
Okay, yeah.
Or if you like mine, I have to do a little back
Reverse,
stitch,
yeah.
a couple of back stitches. So I'm going to start,
Okay.
do a couple forward. Of course,
And
if you go a stitch or 2 over the line, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter that much.
And you I was thinking about it, because it's like you go very slowly to have more control of it.
Yes, well, my machine has a moderator, a speed moderator.
Yeah. A stitch regulator,
Yes.
or something. Yeah. And also the other thing is, I was thinking are you using a 1/4 inch foot, or?
I am, but that's not actually what you need for this one, so I can actually put my regular one on.
Okay.
Because I was using it earlier for something else.
Well, it
It's
doesn't
actually-
matter because it has got the lines, don't we? So I kind
It
of.
does.
I
It is easier if you've got a little foot that you can see through though.
yeah.
So this one I've got has a little clear bit in the middle.
Yes. Yeah, of
So
course.
you can see, you can see exactly where your line is then.
Yeah, that helps.
There we go. So once that's done, you then press it out.
Do you press out, would you do finger pressing if you starched the fabric beforehand, or?
I press, so for the hand piecing I do just a finger press, but
Okay.
for this one I actually do
Like
press
to-
it out
Yeah.
each time. And that's where that little cutting mat comes in handy.
Of course.
Or at home I also have a wall mat that I
Yeah.
press on, which makes it
Yeah.
really nice.
I have to say, I use my own, like the machine. I bought a machine recently, and I have the box of the machine right beside me as a side table.
Oh, nice.
So I kind of just don't have to get up.
Handy.
For the ironing. Recycling and upcycling even cardboard boxes. Okay, and then you put it back. Okay, and then what you are doing now is.
So I'm just doing the background on the other side.
Okay.
So there's two number 2 squares.
Okay. So it doesn't matter which one you do first.
No. And there's 2 number 3s, which will be the next one, which is where my colour will start.
Ah.
Now with the colours that they've got in the bundle,
Yes.
they can either do it alternate colours. So what I've done is I've done a blue and then a red, a blue and a red.
Yeah.
Or they can just do one whole blue
Yeah.
one whole red, and it'll make a different pattern as well.
Yeah, of course, that will be different. And this is the beautiful thing about building those blocks. Now, if you go for the fabrics, you could do the same sort of effect with different, every single step, a different color, because you have got 5 of the fat 8, so that could be quite fun to do a one block like that. Yeah, and
Perfect.
Okay.
Then at this stage, now that I've got that sewn, that's going to be my next seam.
Yeah.
So I've got my add a 1/4 inch foot. So add a 1/4 inch ruler.
Okay, yeah.
Which I'm using to trim. So I'm just folding my fabric back and then trimming to a 1/4 inch on either side.
Is that essential, or it can be avoided?
It's helpful. It's not essential.
Helpful, yeah.
I actually, for most of that quilt, I think I actually just used my scissors and gauged a 1/4 inch.
All right.
But if you like it really nice and neat and precise, this works really well.
Absolutely, yeah.
So my first one is going to be blue.
And then the next color. Okay. So, and I see that you are precision, but you don't measure it.
No, I'm just measuring it up against that shape to make sure I've got at least a 1/4 inch on either side.
Yeah.
Just cutting my strip so that it'll fit there.
Yeah.
Because I've cut it to 1 3/4 width, there isn't actually much to trim, and you can just line that up directly with that 1/4 inch that you just cut off.
All right. And then pin it up.
Pin it on either side just to keep it in place. Verify that's going to be enough.
And then, yeah, the light panel will be so useful for this.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see. And it's funny because we had one day special with the light panels not that long ago. And I thought, this for sewing will be very good, but I kind of really didn't know exactly which, and this is amazing for it. Yeah.
Well, I do love these panels. So foundation piecing is really nice for everything being really precise.
Yeah.
The drawback that I find about it, it's not my favourite technique, I'll be honest, is a lot of the times with regular foundation piecing, I find it hard to cut the piece to make sure that it flips and covers. My brain doesn't work like that. So very often I'll stitch it down and then I'll press it over and they'll be a bit too short. But with these, because you're using strips, it's always going to cover, which is nice.
Yeah, and if you were afraid, or like for instance, I have been doing a little bit of quilting, and for me, like I would go for the 2 inches rather than a 1 3/4 because I know that gives me a little bit extra. So probably that would be my safety zone rather than risk it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then just fold it over,
press it over,
and then press it on.
But the other thing that's nice is you don't have to rip out those papers.
Yeah.
And it doesn't blunt your needle either.
That's a very good point. Now, that's the one thing that anything that kind of makes your needles last longer is a good thing.
Perfect. Yeah.
Would you use a quilting needle to use for this project, or any universal needle would be right?
I tend to use sharps needles. So they're called, depending on the brand, they're called sharps or microtex, but the point is a little bit finer and a little bit longer.
Right.
And the reason I like those is what it will do is it's more likely that your needle then, when it sews through your fabric, it will go in between the threads. Rather than
the weave,
chopping through
the open area of the weave.
And especially with batiks or with fabrics that are more closely woven, it's a lot nicer because you know you're not going to be basically punching holes through your fabric.
Okay. Right. So. And then you say, and this is basically the same technique over and over. So you basically measure the fabric on the
I'll show you the next bit.
Side. And you said it was very important to secure the thread, like making a back stitch or something like that.
Just because you're only going to be sewing on the line. Normally, when you do quilting, you'll sew all the way to the edge into your seam allowance, but you're not really doing that on this. So doing the little back stitch or the lock stitch will help to keep that beginning and ending place, basically.
That's very
Give it stability.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we have got 5 minutes on the show, so just to let you know, Emma. Yeah, and then I press it down.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll just trim that up again.
And that 1/4 of an inch ruler to trim the excess. Okay. And that's such a neat way of finishing it off. That. Okay.
Yeah. So there we go. And then the next one will be a background fabric.
Yeah. Is it me, or could you actually make it into letters with that system? Because it's like an H, and then it could be an E. So, you know, depending how you place the colors,
Yeah.
so maybe you could do something
Yeah,
like
you
that.
could play around with that.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
You're
Emma,
welcome.
for showing how it works, of course. Now, let's gonna have a look at the fabrics, of course, that we have got here. Now, you have got different options. They are beautiful Japanese prints. Whichever bundle you go for, you are gonna get a 1/2 meter, and then you're gonna get 5 fat 8s in here. Now, if you want to go for the Hiroshi, this one is the beautiful navy and reds, you can see in there. And if you're wondering what a fat 8 size is, I'm going to open it up so you can see the beautiful, and you can see, oh, let's put it the waves in the right way. Such an iconic Japanese print in here that you're gonna get, and the quality as well. Then you have got the Mitsuko, which features the dragonflies, the 1/2 meter of the beautiful warm, I would say it's a terracotta, beautiful red anyway, warm red. And then we have got the Sakiko. It's such difficult to pronounce Japanese. And then you can see that here, of course, the beautiful mauve and beautiful dusky pinks in there. And then finally, Kaori, which is the more refreshing. This kind of is more like the southern islands of the Japanese archipelago. And you can see them there, the beautiful blues and teals there coming through. Whichever ones you can see, whichever one you go for, you are going to get those 5 fat 8s and the 1/2 meter, 205. 541, £27.99. Now then we have got the instructions. Now if you were taken by the beautiful American paper piecing that Emma was doing, if you want to take those instructions to your home, you have got them. You can go for the Hexagon, and then you have got here the Hexagon block, how to build it, how to follow the templates as well, and the American hand piecing. Then you can go for it, £11.99, and delivers the templates, the guidance on how to achieve this amazing results. And maybe you could be doing something like this with your choice of fabrics, or the fabrics that of course Emma has brought. And this has been made by Emma's mom. Imagine that, £11.99, 927562. And then you have got the weather vane as well. So you have got, of course, the instructions on how to build the blog, the different options, and then the templates on the back. And then, of course, the American hand piecing method. Now, remember, this is a method that is much quicker than English paper piecing. And just to show like that, a piece that I showed you, the Hexagon, it's about from Monday to Saturday, so Monday to Friday probably. So about 5 days to create it. And you know how long it takes English paper piecing, but you know the beautiful, of course, the beautiful effects that you can get from hand paper piecing. 604-568 is your item number. We are very busy for the paint badge because it's just like such a lovely bundle designed by Emma, of course. Quilt Club, I love that one, with the rules in the back as well, and the Hand Piecers United, that beautiful block in there as well. And sewing is my superpower, and it's just so lovely and you can see how lovely they look on Emma's front of her shirt. Now Emma, how has been your first time here at Hochanda?
It's been great. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you, and I love. Please be back with more of those beautiful panels, beautiful fabrics, and demonstrations as well. Remember, of course, Emma is the first time that she's here at Hochanda with the Swift Quilting Company, and check out your baskets for those beautiful pins, as well as, of course, the instructions. I am very taken away that how much simpler, much faster is hand piece elements that you can create. Remember, you have got two options to go for the, of course, the hexagons, or for the weather vane, or maybe you want to add this beautiful Japanese fabrics to create these stunning pieces. For those ones, you have got different options. Of course, check the website if you want to see them closely. 205541 is your item number. £27.99 is your price. Now, it's been a pleasure. We have got Hayley Smith coming up with a final call for the one-day special as well.